Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 5 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using email address and password as provided by the admin. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 5 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter place value and number sense. The lessons we're going to cover today are Roman numerals, rounding, even or odd arithmetic rules, understanding integers. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, here I'm on place value and number sense. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is place value. That is a Roman numerals. What number does this Roman numeral represent? So x represents 10. So x and x represents 20. Let's just start with the test questions. How would you write 17 as a Roman numeral? So 17, let's just break down 17, right? We can write 17 as 10 plus 7. So x represents, and 7 we can write as 5, 6 and 7 is how we write 17. 1 is the correct option. Option 1 is the correct option. That's how we write 17. What number does this Roman numeral represent? So we're given a Roman numeral. We need to see which number it will represent. So let's just break down, right? X is for 10. So 10, then another 10 makes 2. So together, so that means that represents 22. You need to learn some basic numerals and then you can make any of the option. Number 3 is the correct option, that is 20. How would you write 39 as Roman numeral? So 39 you can write as, let's just break down 39, right? That would be 10 plus 10 plus 9. So you can write x, 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 and 9 we can write as I and x. One is the correct option. The correct option is option number 1. How would you write 10 as Roman numeral? So 10 we can write as x. Option number 1 is the correct option. What number does this Roman numeral represent? So this Roman numeral represent 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. How would you write 37 as Roman numeral? So 37, let's just break down 37. You can write as 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 6, right? So you get the 10 as x, x, x. Then you can write as 5, 6, 7. So option number 1 is the option. That's how you write 37. Option number 1 is the correct option. What number does this Roman numeral represent? So 10, 10, 10, 30, and 2, 32. It is option 3 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is rounding. Let's just start with the lesson rounding. What is 9.04 rounded to the nearest 10 cents? 9.04. We need to round to nearest 10 cents. 4 is the digit that is at the 0 is the digit that is at the 10 cent. Right next 4. So 4 is less than 5. So you will round down. Replace all the digits to the right to the 10th place by zeros. So we can replace it by 9.00. Let's just start with the test questions. What is $90 rounded to nearest $10? So $90 is already rounded to $10, so it would be rounded to 90. What is 618 rounded to nearest 100? So 618 we need to write to nearest 100. So 6 is the digit hundreds position and right next to have 1. 1 is less than 8. So you need to write same 100. It would be 6 and replace the other digits with 0. So 618 is rounded to 600. Option number 1 is the correct option. 600 it is. What is 3633 rounded to nearest 1000? We need to round it to nearest 1000, right? 3633. The digit that is at the thousands position. Next to 3 we have 6. 6 is greater than 5, so you need to round up. Round up means add 1 to the thousand and replace all the digits with a 0, so it would be rounded to 4000. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 4000. What is 3823 rounded to nearest 10? For about which digit you are asked to around round the number. Like here you have to round nearest 10. 2 is the digit that is at the position. Right next to 2 we have 3 and 3 is less than 5. So you need to round on same 10 and you replace only this digit with 0 because that is the digit of the tens position. Got it? Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 3,820. What is 2,564 rounded to nearest hundred? 2,564. Hundred is 5. Right next to 5 we have 6. 6 is greater than, so you need to round the digits with to round up, and you need to add 1 to 5, that is 6, and replace the other digits with 0. So it would be rounded to 2,600. $2,600. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 5,573 rounded to nearest thousand? So the thousands digit is 5,573. That is the digit at thousands position right next to thousand. We have 5. 5 is equal to 5. So up add 1 to thousands digit and replace all the digits with 0. So it would be round 6,000. Option number 1 is the correct option. 6,000 it is. What is 7.37 rounded to nearest dollar? 7.37 to nearest dollar. Nearest dollar. So right next to decimal point we have 3. 3 is less than 5, so you need to round on the same dollar, that is like same digit, that would be 7.00. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move next lesson. The next lesson is even or odd arithmetic rules. Is 76 or minus 33? 76 minus 33 even or odd? 76 is an even number and 33 is an odd number. So the rule is if you are subtracting an odd number from the even, the answer is always odd. So 76 minus 33 is odd. You can subtract and check. 76 minus 33 is 43. Let's just start with the test questions. Is 75 minus 66 even or odd? 75 is an odd minus even. We're subtracting an even number out of the odd. The answer is always odd. You can just subtract and check. So 75 minus 66 is 9. 9 is an odd number. Option number 2 is the correct option, odd it is. Is 57 plus 11 even or odd? Odd plus odd is always even. So the correct option is even. Option number 1 is the correct option. Is 50 minus 4 even or odd? So you are subtracting two even numbers. So answer is always even. So subtracting two even numbers is always even. Option number one is the correct option. Is 80 plus 2 even or odd? So adding two even numbers is always an even number. The correct option is even. Is 29 plus 16 even or odd? So adding an odd and an even number, the answer is always odd. Option number two is the correct option. Odd it is. Is 93 minus 60 even or odd? You're subtracting an odd and an even number. The answer is always an odd number. Odd it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just listen. The next lesson is understanding integers. Which integer represents the scenario price increase of $6? So increases are always represented by the positive number. So positive 6 it is. Let's just start with the test questions. Which integer represents the scenario 10 meters above sea level? So above sea level it would be a positive number. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which integer represents the scenario? Ten fewer inches of rain this year. So fewer it will be 10 9. Which integer represents the scenario profit of $5? So profits are always represented by the positive 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which integer represents the scenario bank account balance drops by $8? So drops are represented by the negative numbers. Option 1 is the integer represents the scenario price increase of $6. That is positive 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which integer represents the scenario $1 off coupon? Off is negative 1. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which integer represents the scenario? A child grows 4 inches taller. Option number 1 is the correct option. 4 it is. Which integer represents the scenario? Putting 8 fresh cookies into a cookie jar. Positive 8 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which integer represents the scenario? $7 price reduction. So reduces are always represented by the negative numbers. It is -7. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 5 math. Chapter we were working on is place values and number sense. Since we have covered today are rounding, even or odd, arithmetic rules, and understanding in teachers. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. More help with any of the lessons, you can see chat button. Tutors are available there to help, or either you can write them down. I'm here to answer your questions and confusions if you have any. So any question you can please ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the